Our story kicks off in March 2009. Picture this: Captain Phillips is at his home in Underhill, Vermont, meticulously packing his bags, double-checking his passport, and making sure his itinerary is perfect. There's an air of anxiety between him and his wife, Andrea. As they discuss their kids' futures in a rapidly changing world, they reflect on how much harder it is for the younger generation to land good jobs compared to their own time. Now, fast forward to a tearful airport farewell, and Phillips is on his way. Meanwhile, across the globe in Ale, a small coastal settlement in Somalia, a convoy of trucks loaded with local mercenaries arrives, causing a scene. Our second protagonist, Abdul Ali Muse, is yanked from his slumber by a young boy. The mercenaries, who work for a warlord named Garad, are furious. They demand the villagers get back out to sea immediately to scout for ships to hijack. Despite the villagers explaining they just pulled off successful hijackings in the last couple of weeks, the mercenaries aren't satisfied. They want more. The pressure is on, and it's on big time. Enter Hufan, the village chief. He commands Muse and another guy, Hassan, to assemble their best crews, ready their skiffs, and prepare for another daring adventure on the high seas. As you can imagine, everyone's vying for a spot on the crew, hoping their skills or maybe a little bribe might just secure them a place. Chewing on a sprig of the herb kot brings a wave of euphoria and kills your appetite, perfect for a lengthy sea raid. Muse gathers his crew, Bilal, Elmi and Narji from another village. They pack supplies and head to the mothership. Meanwhile, tensions rise between Hassan and Muse. Hassan calls Muse a skinny rat and tells him to stay out of his way. Muse isn't thrilled, especially when Hassan starts bossing Elmi around. Back on the other side of the world, Captain Phillips arrives at the port of Salalah in Oman to take charge of the MV Maersk Alabama, a massive container ship. His trusty first mate, Shane Murphy, fills him in on their sea route and the cargo they're hauling. Aware of the pirates prowling off Somalia's coast, Phillips orders Murphy to lock up tight. Every door, every hatch on the ship must be sealed. With the cargo loaded, they set sail, but Phillips isn't taking any chances. He organizes emergency drills to ensure his crew is ready for any crisis. Those safety drills are about to pay off. Not long after the drills begin, Captain Phillips spots two tiny blips on his radar red alert. He informs Murphy about the two incoming skiffs and tells him to raise the U.S. maritime emergency. When they don't respond, Phillips decides to act. He orders a quick turn to port, but the skiffs tail them. Phillips then instructs Murphy to alert the UK MTO about a potential pirate operation. They're told to stick to protocol. As the skiffs edge closer, the danger becomes real. Those men are armed. Phillips jumps into action, alerting his 20-strong crew and instructing them to man their stations. Then he makes a smart move, pretending to radio a military ship in hopes of scaring off the pirates. Sud falls for it, ordering his crew to abandon the chase. But Muse isn't convinced. He commands his driver to step on it. In response, Phillips cranks up the ship's speed, creating powerful waves that rock the smaller boat. Muse urges Elmi to go full throttle, but soon their engine gives out. They're stranded, but the day's not over yet. Muse and his crew regroup with their mothership to carry out urgent repairs. Tensions rise, words are exchanged, and the rivalry between Hassan and Muse comes to a head. Hassan pulls a gun on Muse, but Muse, with a hidden wrench, turns the tables and takes down Hassan. Not one to give up, Muse seizes Hassan's engine and gets back on the chase for the coveted cargo ship. Murphy spots them and alerts Captain Phillips, who immediately rallies the crew, commands evasive maneuvers, and sends another distress call to the UK MTO. Then they let loose the fire hoses, spraying water in all directions. Undeterred, Muse radios Phillips, ordering him to stop the ship. Phillips isn't having any of it. This prompts Neji to take things up a notch by opening fire, forcing them to steer even closer. The fire hoses don't quite do the trick. Bilal manages to hook on their makeshift ladder, and one by one the pirates clamber up the side and onto the ship. Phillips takes quick action. He orders his crew to bunker down in the engine room, stressing they must keep those doors locked tight. As the pirates make their way to the bridge, they wreak havoc, smashing every lock in sight. Bursting onto the bridge, they point their weapons at Phillips and two others. Muse steps up, trying to calm Phillips with assurances of safety as long as they cooperate. The pirates are over the moon when they realize they've boarded an American ship. Muse declares triumphantly, "I am the captain now." Phillips, staying cool under pressure, tries to negotiate. He offers the pirates $30,000 to leave them in peace, but for the pirates, it's chump change. They want more, much more. Just as tensions rise, the ship's power goes out. The chief engineer has hit the kill switch. Muse, understandably, wants to know what's up. Phillips tries to keep them calm, saying they pushed the ship too hard, and that's why the power's out. Muse, still curious about the rest of the crew, gets a vague answer from Phillips. Growing impatient, he threatens to start shooting the hostages if the crew doesn't show themselves. The threat doesn't work, so he decides to find the crew himself. With Bilal and Phillips in tow, Muse begins his hunt for the hidden crew members. Phillips suggests they search from top to bottom, but Muse catches the bluff. Using a ship diagram, he instructs Phillips to lead them to the engine room. It's a close call when Murphy nearly gets spotted as Bilal checks the storage room. Murphy warns the rest of the crew that they've got company and to spread broken glass in the engine room. Sure enough, as the search party steps into the engine room, Bilal steps on the glass, seriously injuring his foot. Muse orders Bilal to take Phillips back to the bridge. With Phillips and Bilal gone, Muse is now alone in his search. Some of the crew members launch a surprise attack in the cover of darkness. An attempt to stab Muse is blocked when he uses his hand as a shield. Then the crew radios the pirates on the bridge, telling them they've got Muse and are ready to trade. They want their captain back and are willing to fork out the $30,000 for it. Phillips pulls out the ransom money from the safe and hands it over to the pirates. Meanwhile, Muse gets released by the crew, but when Phillips attempts to leave the lifeboat, Narji strikes, dealing a blow to the captain and slamming the door shut. Just like that, the lifeboat hits the water. News of the Maersk, Alabama hijacking and Captain Phillips' kidnapping reaches the USS Bainbridge. This U.S. Navy ship, originally operating in the Mediterranean, is ordered to change course and intercept the lifeboat. Phillips, ever the humanitarian, offers to treat the injuries of Muse and Bilal. Muse turns down the offer but allows Phillips to tend to Bilal. Things escalate quickly when Phillips pulls out a knife to cut a bandage, causing Narji to yell in alarm. He snatches the knife from Phillips and orders Bilal to move away from him. In a swift turn of events, a drone locates the lifeboat, followed closely by the crew of the Alabama, who have decided to pursue their kidnapped captain. But with the Navy estimating a good 36 hours before the U.S. warship can reach them, things are looking dire, and there's no way the lifeboat can make it to Somalia. With time running out, the U.S. dispatches a SEAL team. Things take a dicey turn when Hufan doesn't respond to their distress call. Just then, the USS Bainbridge makes a dramatic entrance, shining spotlights and blasting its horns to get the attention of the lifeboat crew. Nemo, who speaks Somali, makes contact with the pirates, trying to kick off negotiations with an offer of food and water. But Muse isn't interested in snacks. His counteroffer? A cool $10 million. Narji, however, is super suspicious of the Americans, thinking they're planning a trap. Still, Muse agrees to meet with the Navy. As two gunboats pull up to the lifeboat, they demand to see Phillips. Muse ushers Phillips to the door to show he's okay, then nudges him back inside while he continues chatting with Nemo. Muse is sticking to his guns, literally and figuratively. He rejects the offered food and drink. He's all about that $10 million. As the conversation unfolds, Narji starts losing it. He fires off his pistol, causing the gunboats to retreat, fearing Phillips had been shot. Muse quickly contacts Bainbridge to confirm that Phillips is unharmed, even having Phillips confirm it himself over the radio. Muse tells the CO he'll be in touch when they reach Somalia. As night falls, a couple more warships join the party with the USS Bainbridge. Back on the lifeboat, Phillips sees a chance to escape when he asks to use the bathroom. With Muse's permission, he shoves Bilal into the water and makes a mad dash for the ships. The Navy spots the commotion but can't tell who's who in the water. Narji tries to shoot at them, but Muse steps in to stop him. Instead, Muse dives in after Phillips, hauling him back to the lifeboat. Once they're back, an enraged Narji lets loose on Phillips. As the dust settles, the SEALs swoop in, taking command and radioing Muse. The negotiator starts dropping their names and hometowns, letting them know that tribal elders are en route to the Bainbridge to help negotiate Phillips' ransom. Muse bites the bait, agreeing to head over to the warship to chat with the Navy and the elders. Meanwhile, the SEALs set up their snipers. A skiff heads over to the lifeboat to hitch a tow rope and bring Muse on board. The clever sailors sneak a listening device onto the lifeboat's exterior. They also toss Phillips a bag with a shirt, telling him it'll help keep him warm and that he should stay put. Over on the warship, the SEAL snipers are given the clear mission: find and take out the 3 pirates on the lifeboat. Phillips follows orders, donning his bright yellow shirt. As the Bainbridge starts towing the lifeboat, an irritated Narji yells at Phillips to stay still, warning Bilal to shoot Phillips if he dares to move again. As the lifeboat is drawn closer, the snipers struggle to get a verified sighting of all 3 pirates. Meanwhile, Phillips, thinking the end is near, tries to write a last will to his family. But Narji notices and snatches the materials away in a fit of rage. Phillips attacks Narji, but with the help of Bilal and Elmi, Narji overpowers him and they tie him up. Now suspicious, Narji turns on the radio and demands to know about the elders' whereabouts. Realizing the Americans have been deceiving them all along, he prepares to execute Phillips, convinced that they're all doomed anyway. Tensions skyrocket. With Narji determined to kill Phillips, the snipers manage to confirm the sighting of Bilal and Elmi. But Narji remains out of sight. In response, the commander orders the towing to be stopped. This sudden stop causes Narji to stumble forward, bringing him into clear view through a window. The snipers take advantage of the clear view of all three pirates, receiving the go-ahead from command to execute their mission. Gunshots ring out, causing Phillips to scream as blood splatters over him. The eerie silence that follows is only broken by Phillips' quiet whimpering as his blindfold slides off one eye, revealing the horrifying scene before him. The order to detain Muse is given. He is quickly taken to the deck of the warship, handcuffed and arrested. A sinking feeling of defeat washes over Muse as he learns that his crew has been killed and Captain Phillips is safe. The movie concludes with Phillips being brought to the USS Bainbridge, where he is treated by a medic for his injuries. He is visibly shaken, struggling to communicate, and overwhelmed by the traumatic experience. Phillips asks about his family, wondering if they know he is safe. The commanding officer assures him that his family has been notified and he will be able to speak with them soon. Phillips is eventually reunited with his family, while Muse faces the consequences of his actions, charged with piracy and sentenced to 33 years in prison. Captain Phillips returned to the sea the following year, a testament to his dedication and resilience. Thanks for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe, and we'll see you on the next one.